Hello, this is Corey the Keyblade Wielder. We are back for another commentary. Disney versus non-Disney villains, Part 2, Round 7. And yes, we're in the live-action universe now. I mean, yeah, we've seen, like, the villains like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but there's gonna be more than that. Unless you're thinking it's gonna be with Marvel and DC kind of stuff, there's none. There's no Marvel and DC villains. I mean, I also learned from History Buff way before he did like when he did fan commentaries, but deleted them all for some reason, that Manwhoooo and 73 Windmen are not going to use Marvel and DC villains. Sorry to disappoint you all, but I'm just saying. So what live action villains are they going to do instead of Marvel and DC? I'll show you. And especially not going to be the Disney live action remakes. Thank God. Okay. In the first fight, Cruella de Vil versus Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, you heard right, people. Freddy Krueger. Okay, in the description, Mock is opening a portal to the live-action universe for Cruella de Vil, and to get the Lamet configuration. If any of you all are horror fans, you all know what the Lamet configuration is. Yeah, Mock wants the Lamet configuration into the hand-drawn realm so that he can use it. Yikes. Plus, I noticed that you guys are using the footage of Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure. To me, it's actually pretty decent. I don't actually hate it, but it's actually pretty decent. I haven't seen the film in a long time, but I heard from the Nostalgia Critic that it's actually pretty good. And Cruella's entering the live-action universe, and she turns into the Glenn Close version of Cruella de Vil from the live-action version of 101 Dalmatians. Pretty interesting, huh? And one of the leaders of the Cenobite Pinhead decides to raise Freddy Krueger from the dead to send him her way. Hold on. Sorry, I just wanted to get to the right one up. I've seen both Hellraiser and A Nightmare on Elm Street. To me, I like both of these films, actually. So yeah, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, especially the ones, maybe a few people that were part of the Adventure Team community, especially probably the toxic ones, and even History Buff and CK, and even I was really surprised that you, Manwhoooo and 73 Windman, had to use slasher villains. I mean, they aren't just horror villains, they're slasher villains. You got Pinhead and Freddy Krueger. Both of them are very R-rated, which is pretty surprising. I mean, yeah, you have Feliday and Watership Down, they're more animated adult films, but still. Plus, the weird part is that what got me into the horror genre. Plus, pause. Plus, I am glad that you guys are using the original Freddy Krueger instead of the 2010 version, because let's be honest, the original Nightmare on Elm Street is what's wrong with my grammar? The original Nightmare on Elm Street is way better than the remake. You know, the one made by Michael Bay. Yeah, there we are. The Glenn Close Cruella. And she sees Freddy Krueger. Here's her.
Red isn't your color.
Okay. I gotta laugh at that part. I like how it's like, darling, red isn't your color. I'm sorry, it's just kind of funny when I heard her said that to him. I like how they actually look like they're in the same scene. Okay, I don't think that pitchfork or whatever it was, I'm no farm expert, I'm sorry, couldn't be able to push a person that high. Whoa. I like how you made it look like she actually was hit by that gas tank. Oh, now she's driving whatever that is. Freddy Krueger wins in next fight. Zarg from Disney's Tron versus Gideon Gordon Graves from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Description that the MCP, also known as the Master Control Program, is giving Zarg a task to take out Gideon Gordon Graves, who is a musical mogul, and just like Mock, and to shut down his company or something like that, and who was like the threat, who was like the leader of the League of Exes. Yes, that's actually the name, the League of Exes, which means the ex-boyfriends and girlfriend. I have seen, at first I never seen Tron at first until I finally got Tron, the movie. I first know of it from Kingdom Hearts 2, and I finally got it. It's a pretty good film, actually. And I did watch Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on Netflix, and it was a good film. He is a pretty entertaining villain. He's kind of like, Gideon is like Mock, but with the personality of Victor from Despicable Me. Oh, sorry, off topic. Commander Zarg wins. Next fight. Queen Bavmorda from Willow versus Morgana Le Fay from Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Description is that Queen Bavmorda has the spell that can raise the army of the dead called the Rising, and Morgana wants to take it. That was what she did in the original film, of course. And you know when I said I really hate most Disney live-action remakes when I put it on the bad side? Well, I don't think Sorcerer's Apprentice is a remake. It's more of a story version of it, because The Sorcerer's Apprentice was originally a musical. No, it's like an orchestra stuff, before Disney made the one with short with Mickey Mouse. This one is more of a live-action, very long story. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for me, because I love the King Arthur stories, and I like that Morgana Le Fay is one of the live-action Disney villains. I have seen Willow. It's a pretty good film. Plus, that film was made by George Lucas. Yeah, that's right. The man who made Star Wars is the same guy who directed Willow. Kind of interesting to know he did medieval stuff, huh? Oh yeah, now Morgana is the ghost. And it's really cool, like, you guys made it look like they're in the same scene, like they're really battling each other. And I like how you made it look like she's throwing fire at her. And Queen Bavmorda wins. Next fight. Davy Jones versus Kuro from... Davy Jones from Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean versus Goro from the live-action Mortal Kombat. I love Pirates of the Caribbean, and the sequels are a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. I will admit, the last one was not really good. The Unstranger... no, wait, that's... I think it was Dead Man Tell No Tales. You know, when Captain Salazar? And it had its moments. What was that in the description? Oh yeah, Zhang Zun, I gotta remember that. Invites tasked Davy Jones if he would be into the Mortal Kombat tournament, but Davy Jones is uninterested. But Zhang Zun suggests that he face Goro. Like, if Davy Jones wins, Zhang will leave him alone, which Jones would accept. I have played Mortal Kombat, the game. I'm still trying to beat Shao Kahn for... It's been a pain in the butt for me. And I have not seen the live-action Mortal Kombat. I Heard the movie was not really good. It was not. I gotta look up the Nostalgia Critics review of Mortal Kombat to know of it. To just know how bad it is. I mean, Goro looks much better in a video game, but look at this guy. Wait a minute. There. Look at Goro. Compare him to the video game. Goro in the video game looks pretty frightening and epic. Well, this Goro in the live action one, he looks like a rejected Muppet. Yeah, it looks like a Muppet reject. Plus, I think it would have been better instead of if Mortal Kombat live action movie was that bad, I think you guys could have used the villains from The Last Samurai. If you guys never heard of it, it's a movie with Tom Cruise, and that's the one. It's, Tom Cruise plays a Civil War hero, Captain Nathan Algren, who comes to Japan to fight the samurai and ends up pledging himself to their cause. It's sort of inspired what happened in history. It actually did happen, but it's more of an inspiration from history. So yeah, you guys could have used like the villains from The Last Samurai for Davy Jones to fight instead of the Mortal Kombat one. I love The Last Samurai. It's pretty good. I think it would have been much better if you used the villains in there. And I'm glad Davy Jones wins. Yeah, I think Mortal Kombat would have been better in the CGI realm instead. Just saying. And Goro is now dead, and Davy Jones wins. Alright, next fight. Judge Doom from Disney's Who Framed Roger Rabbit versus Count Olaf from Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Description is that Count Olaf and his right-hand man, or his henchman, Hook-Handed Man, that's actually his name, yes, arrived at Toontown Prison to free a certain criminal from Toontown Prison. Okay, didn't we see the Wise Guy and the Weasels from part 1 of round 7? I thought they might have died from the dip. Or did he not just dive into the dip, but a cheese dip? I think History Buff or CK made a joke about that, so maybe he was diving into the cheese dip. And I have not read any of the book series of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, but I did know, I watched the movie and it was okay. But I know that many people who read the books hate the movie. They hated it. It was a slap in the face of the book series. They merged all the books into one film, which I don't think it's a good idea. Not really. Not a good idea. Plus, the positive thing is that Count Olaf is played by Jim Carrey. Pretty cool. I love Jim Carrey. Or we're going to see other Jim Carrey villains in there, like The Grinch, or heck, it would have been awesome if you used Jim Carrey of Dr. Robotnik. Now that'd be awesome. That gave Count Olaf the idea. And Count Olaf being Jim Carrey acting all Jim Carrey. Yeah, if you've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they do die from laughing. And that's what's happening. Literally die of laughing. Whoa. Yeah, you would get knocked down like that. Okay, Count Olaf wins, and it turns out Dr. Claw is the criminal that Count Olaf wants to free from prison. Really? Why would a real-life person like Dr. Claw be in Toontown Prison? Wouldn't it be in a real person prison? A non-Toon prison? I'm just saying, I mean, I have not seen, I mean, I have seen the movie of Inspector Gadget, and I saw the review of the movie from the Nostalgia Critic, and it's a slap in the face to the cartoon, and a lot of people hated it, which I'm surprised you guys are using. And I have not seen the cartoon of Inspector Gadget. I have not, and I'm sorry about that. And now Count Olaf and Dr. Claw escape from prison. Next fight. Maxim Horvath from Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice versus Malachite from Suburban Nights. The description is that Malachite receives his old gauntlet, Malachite's hand, from Evil Genius. Yes, that's actually the dude's name, Evil Genius. I have seen Time Bandits that he's from, and it's a pretty good film. Plus, the whole movie should be a meme. And now that Malachite got that that gauntlet, Maxim Horvath decides to challenge him, and this is confusing. No, the fight does not confuse me. But the villain confuses me. Here's the thing. I like the Nostalgia Critic. What I mean is, I like his reviews. I don't like his anniversary films where he goes off to like epic quests and adventures. Okay, in Disney versus non-Disney villains, most of the villains are either from movies, like in part 1. In part 2, we got movies and TV villains. Malachite is not from a movie or a TV show. He's from the internet. Well, he's not just an internet villain, but he's a YouTube villain. He's from Suburban Nights is basically a film with the Nostalgia Critic. He found the map to Malachite's hand. They all cosplay and dress up as medieval characters or whatever. Yeah, I just don't think it makes sense for Malachite to be in here. I don't think it makes sense for YouTube villains to be in the war. Like, okay, I like how it looks like they're in the same scene. Like they're actually fighting. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make sense to have Channel Awesome villains in there. Like, if you guys use, like, Psycho Dad or Tito or whatever YouTube videos, like Channel Awesome or that guy with the glasses or any of that stuff, or fan-made OCs, it would not make sense to be in the villains battle. Not even, I can't believe I'm going to use this for example. Ralphie, aka the Misfit. If you all saw my rant on Ralphie, you know I despise the man with a passion. What he did in real life was bad. And I just don't think it makes sense for him also to be in the war also. Not unless you get him to face off against Mr. Dark from Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's this movie right here. That should be someone who make the fight Ralphie versus Mr. Dark. Now that I would bet on Mr. Dark to win. And Maxim Horvath wins. Yeah, like I said, like I was kind of glad that Malachite was here, but at the same time, I'm glad he's gone. I hope we don't see any more YouTube villains. Unless you'll be thinking, but according to Keyblade Wielder, are there any internet villains used besides like YouTube villains? Actually, yes, some of them are from like web series ones, and when we get to the other tournaments, I'll tell you which one of them makes it work better than having villains like Malachite in there. We'll see when we get to the other tournaments. Next fight, the Battle of Oz. This was a pretty interesting one. This is a battle between both the Gnome King from Disney's Hold on.
Even the only one that knows how to use them. They're no use to you.
Yeah, between the Gnome King and the Wicked Witch of the West. The Gnome King is from Disney's Return to Oz, and the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. I was surprised that you guys are using the original movie of Wizard of Oz. Here's why. Like, I didn't expect you guys to use her. Yeah, she's a popular villain, but still, I mean, if Wizard of Oz was a modern movie like it was made today, it'd be horrible effects. But here's the thing. Wizard of Oz came in 1939. Not 1999, not 1928. I mean, not 1967, but 1939. That's how old this movie is. I'm surprised you guys actually managed to make it work. Like, I didn't think it would work, but it actually proved me wrong. And the Wicked Witch of the West is sending her flying monkeys after the Wheelers. Yep, like that. Yeah, now she's going to the Gnome King, who's... Yeah, Return to Oz is way scarier. And I mean, it scared the kids in theaters just like the Black Cauldron did. And now the Wicked Witch of the West is going to the mountain of the Gnome King. And she arrives at the Gnome King. I like how you guys are... You actually made it look like they're talking about the Wicked Witch of the West. Well, in Return to Oz, they were talking about Dorothy. If you wonder how scary both Something Wicked This Way Comes and Return to Oz is, look up Animat's top 10 scariest Disney moments, and he'll give you all the descriptions about them. And the witch and her army arrives. Now between those guards and the Satanic Play-Doh Gnomes. Yeah, that's what I'm calling them, the Satanic Play-Doh Gnomes. And she's got the hourglass, which can drain life. And the Gnome King transforms into... oh dear. A gigantic Godzilla King Kong size of Satanic Play-Doh Gnome. Oh, that was quick. She's like, I'm gonna throw it. Boom. And the Wicked Witch of the West wins. Now all of Oz belongs to the Wicked Witch of the West now. And Princess Mombi flees. Next fight. Staying from Tim Burton's and Disney's Alice in Wonderland versus... what was his name again? Oh yeah, Count Rugen. In description, Count Rugen arrives to Wonderland in orders from Queen Bavmorda. And wants a negotiation. At first, the Red Queen was interested until Count Rugen suggests she hands Wonderland over to Bavmorda, and she is mad. She ain't gonna let anyone do her dirty work, and then she sends the Knave of Hearts after her. Stan the Knave of Hearts. Even though I said those Disney live-action remakes I put on the bad side, here's my exception for Tim Burton's version of Alice in Wonderland. I don't consider it a remake. It doesn't have the same story. If it was, that would be an actual remake. Here's the thing. It's more like a sequel to the book series. And I will admit it's stupid to make Wonderland where everything makes sense. And that's something that Chester A-Bomb kind of pointed out, like, when did Wonderland turn into Narnia? Like that. That's just to describe it. It's a guilty pleasure for me, and I don't really hate it. And now the fight between Count Rugen and Stain. And I have seen The Princess Bride, and it's a good film. Aren't we going to see the prince, who is like the real main villain? Oh, and Stain wins. Next fight. Ramsley from Disney's The Haunted Mansion versus Voldemort from Harry Potter. Description, hold on. Oh yeah, seeking to conclusively prove that he is the master of death, Voldemort seeks out to take out Ramsley. I have not read any of the Harry Potter books. I've only seen one Harry Potter movie, and that was just it. But what I learned from History Buff is that Voldemort fears death. The reason he became the Dark Lord is because he's afraid of dying. Which I don't blame him. I mean, can you really blame him? We're all afraid of death. And Ramsley seeks all the ghosts at Voldemort. I still wish to go to Disneyland to go to the Haunted Mansion ride. That's what the movie is based on. Whoa. I like how you use Voldemort's fiery snake thing to drag Ramsley to make it look like he's being dragged into HE double hockey stick itself. Voldemort wins, and I guess he conquered his fear. And next fight, Captain Hook, which I guess in this form, it's the Hook. One made by Steven Spielberg. That's my favorite film. Versus the Korgan from Highlander. I have not seen Highlander yet. Okay, I like in the descriptions that
preposterous plan and absurd war. Now I'm bound by my indefatigable good form. Oh, I hate being disappointed, Steve, and I hate living in this raw body.
yeah, that's actually this version of Hook. Ever since Hook entered the live-action universe, he started to age fast, and now he's in the form of Dustin Hoffman's Hook. That's pretty cool. And now he wants to fight the Korgan to get his immortality. Huh. I guess staying in Neverland can make you live forever, I guess. I mean, with staying the same age, that is. I like how you guys make it look like they're actually fighting.
Death is the only natural.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just like to get the dialogues in. To make it look like they're actually talking to each other, and they're actually fighting each other. And, oh, and someone is here. Queen Jadis from Disney's The Chronicles of Narnia. Oh, that is awesome. I heard a lot of people don't care for Queen Jadis, who we all know as the White Witch. I got a lot of things that I know a bit about her. I looked things up of the meaning of Narnia. I actually consider her to be the ultimate live-action Disney villain. Just as ultimate as Maleficent did, and here's why. See, originally from the world of Charn. Yet she was from another world. She was born into a royal family who were said to be part Jinn and part giant. Jinn means genie. She's part genie and half giant. Wow. Plus she practiced some sort of ancient spell that was locked away. And that spell was to destroy the world. Until two kids, Diggory Kirk, who we all know as the professor or whatever, from the first Narnia movie, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that old guy, that's him. When he was a child. He accidentally freed her and she chased him all the way to the real world and entered the world that we all know is Narnia. Narnia was created in 1900. Aslan is the creator of Narnia. And Queen Jadis, was accidentally brought to the world of Narnia, although she was banished to the north by Aslan. She returned 900 Narnian years later and usurped the throne from the original royal family of Narnia. Plus, she put a curse upon her Narnian subjects. She began the long winter magically forcing Narnia into a 100-year state of frozen snow and ice, thus earning her the name the White Witch. Yeah, she's that powerful. And the thing about Aslan, he also exists in other worlds. Aslan is basically his avatar form of a lion. Here's what he said from the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. In your world, I have another name. You must learn to know me by it. That was the very reason you were brought to Narnia. That by knowing me for a little, you may know me better there. Plus, in Earth, Aslan is Jesus Christ. Very shocking, yeah? That's what even Queen Jadis considers to be the enemy of Aslan, and she's, if y'all if y'all heard what I told you about, that's how she can be. Plus there's a debate, either Tash, who was like half man, half bird, which is weird. Others thought that Tash is to be Satan, while the others think Queen Jadis is to be Satan, because, you know, they're both cold-hearted people. Plus, it'd be cool to see Queen Jadis being the Maleficent of the live-action universe. Because I'm just saying, she'd be the ultimate Disney villain. Queen Jadis, the Maleficent of the Disney live-action universe, and the ultimate Disney live-action villain. I'm just saying, it's cool to see her there. Oh, and Queen Jadis killed the Gorgon. And she sends Hook and his crew back to the hand-drawn realm. That was nice of her. And now they're back. Cool, now we get to see Hook and his crew back to the hand-drawn realm. Okay, now in the epilogue, sorry, there was a bit of distraction. Cruella de Vil somehow survives from Freddy, right? Somehow. Enters Dr. Claw's business company and forges an alliance with Dr. Claw and Count Olaf. Interesting. And Ordinal Ritual and the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves arrives at Cutler Beckett's. That's cool, and plus, when I first saw Cardinal Ritual, I just like, wait a minute, like, it just clicked, like, holy cow, I have not seen that movie in forever. It was back when I was visiting my cousin, and it turns out I didn't realize that the Three Musketeers, that version, was Disney also. When I think of Disney's Three Musketeers, I was thinking of Mickey Mouse. Seriously, look. Yeah. Look. The cast of Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, Tim Curry, and Rebecca De Mornay. Yeah! I'm just happy to see him in there. Plus, this Sheriff of Nottingham is from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I saw it on Netflix. It was pretty good. Oh, there. The description that, Lord of Darkness from Legend is in a meeting with Evil Genius. Two villains I really like.
We will remake man in our image, not his.
Yeah, you probably think where this is going. And Queen Jadis gathers her own alliance to take over the world. And her alliance are Maxim Horvath, Princess Mumby, the Sanderson sisters from Disney's Hocus Pocus. Cool! Can't wait to see where it goes. Oh, and Saruman contacts Sauron, his master. Plus, even though I consider Queen Jadis to be the ultimate live-action Disney villain, I consider Sauron to be the ultimate live-action non-Disney villain. He was once a Maya, which is like, I guess it's like a lowercase angel. And he was corrupted by Melkor, or is he now known as Morgoth, who was like the Satan of the Middle Earth. Yeah. I would love this. I love there's now going to be a rivalry between Jadis and Sauron. Cool. Sauron wants Saruman to build him the Grand Army. And Voldemort begins his plans, like, whatever. So, yeah, that was Disney versus non-Disney villains part 2, round 7. Now that we got the live-action villains here, now you know which live-action villains they mean by. So, yeah, this was Disney versus non-Disney villains part 2, round 7. Bah! Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my grammar. That was Disney versus non-Disney villains part 2, round 7. And this is Corey the Keyblade Wielder. May your heart be your guiding key. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And hopefully we will see more live-action villains. And see ya.